What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM out of the Elgin and Chicagoland community every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST. I'm also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at The Jaime Dee Show. That's spelled TheJaimeDeeshow, a real live radio show. Welcome, welcome, welcome for those who are tuning in their cars right now. Thank you so much for not turning that radio dial. And for those who are on the many different streaming platforms, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to continue to comment live with me. I do acknowledge comments. And if you ever want to call in to get in on the conversation, the number to call in is 847-931-1410. Again, that's 847-931-1410. Shout out to Manny Fresh, Destiny, Dance Hall Queen LA, Dana Perez, Kara. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so for today's show rundown, we're going to go over some daily news, and then we're going to talk about the importance of family. Again, some daily news, and then we're going to talk about the importance of family. So tune in. I want you guys to get in on the conversation. All right, It's On Site wrote that a woman planning her wedding has faced criticism after requiring her family and friends to pay a minimum fee of $65 to attend the ceremony, with some calling her cheap and tacky. Again, she's requiring these people to pay this money. A guest attending the wedding of an unidentified bride shared their frustration on Reddit, questioning whether it was acceptable for the bride to expect guests to pay for their own expenses, reports the New York Post. The guest wrote, quote, "One of my closest friends is getting married and is charging her guests to attend the wedding," end quote. Quote, "I always knew she was cheap. So in one way, I'm not surprised," end quote. They continued. The user on Reddit revealed that they were sent an invitation via mail, which mandated $65 if they are RSVPing to attend. The person continued to write, quote, "It doesn't even say that what the fees are for, but after Googling, it says it includes food, music, decorations, and venue. So they literally want their guests to pay for decorations," end quote. According to the Redditor, guests attending the wedding will have to pay extra for meals at the reception and an additional $100 if they want to stay overnight. Including a gift, they estimate the total cost of the wedding for a guest to attend will be over $400. Wow. The frustrated invitee pointed out that the bride and groom have substantial wealth and assets. Reddit users chimed in with their thoughts and opinion. One user penned, quote, "This is so beyond tacky and tasteless. I hope she gets roasted for it," end quote. Another user wrote, quote, "I would send my regrets and congratulations, and that's it. The bride is out of her freaking mind," end quote. Hey, good afternoon to Gina Chandler. Good afternoon to Kara. Good afternoon to everybody else who is coming in the chat right now. Dana Perez says, "You go, girl. No debt for her." Let me tell you. This is how I feel. There are a lot of traditions in the American culture, and one of them is when you get invited to a wedding, you go for free. You don't charge people for a wedding. However, it is 2024, and obviously this was back in 2023. I'm slightly here for it. I'm slightly here for it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you would spend $20 to go to a club. You would spend over $1,000 to get a section. You would spend money to go to all these other events. Why not invest and pour into your family and friends? I personally believe a minimum fee is not that bad. However, I do think she is doing too much. Like, if you invite somebody to a wedding and you're expecting to pay for everything, that's a little tacky, right? If you're like, "Hey, I don't have the money, but my bright idea is let's plan this anyway, then let's kind of split it up amongst the attendees, and then we're going to get our money back and maybe even more off the top," then that is a little tacky, because we're not getting married. You are, and we shouldn't have to pay for your marriage. We're not marrying y'all, but I also believe in supporting my friends and family and supporting people's unions. So I have no problem spending $20 to $60 to attend somebody's wedding if that means helping out. However, keyword, helping out. And I've only been to one wedding. This wasn't a wedding of anybody that I knew. My mom invited me to one of her close friends' weddings in the DR, and it was one of those destination weddings. Great, great experience. I enjoyed it. It even strengthened my idea of wanting to get married, because I do want to get married. I didn't pay anything into their marriage. However, I know that you're supposed to bring a wedding gift. And my thing is this. If I'm paying $20 to $65 or whatever your price is to get into your wedding and support your wedding, that is my wedding gift. Period. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. Let me know in the chat, but whatever money I'm paying, that is my wedding gift. Because if I'm paying money into your wedding, that's me supporting your wedding. That's me saying, I love your union, I support your union, hope everything goes well, hurrah! And that's just how I feel. If I'm spending money on your wedding, that is me supporting it, and don't ask for nothing else. Don't, especially if it is a destination wedding, because you do have to pay for your own expenses to get there. You do have to pay for your own hotel. So if I'm putting money into your wedding as well, I'm all for it, but don't ask for nothing else. Dana Perez says, definitely some 2024 stuff. I would just conceal it as a destination wedding. Wedding gifts should be twice the amount of the cost for you to be there. Hey, Dana, if that's how you feel, I support it. Like I said, if you invite me to your wedding and you want me to pay a specific price, that is my contribution to your wedding, and that is my wedding gift. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more daily news, so don't go anywhere. I have some things to get into. Stick around. This is the Jaime Dee Show on KSHP in Las Vegas and WRMN in the Elgin/Chicagoland area. Stay tuned.
Discover the charms of life along the Mother Road, historic Route 66 at the Hampton Inn of Litchfield, Illinois. The Hampton is off of Route 55, just 56 miles northeast of St. Louis. Dine in at Nancy's Pizza next door, or the historic Ariston Restaurant on Old 66. Cruise into a drive-in movie. And for fishing, boating, and hiking, Lake Looyeager is the centerpiece of Litchfield's bustling outdoor culture. For reservations, call 217-324-4441. Taqueria Las Cumbres, Crystal Lake's authentic Mexican restaurant on Grant Street, is open for carryout. For over 15 years, Taqueria Las Cumbres has been serving up all of your favorite Mexican dishes and doing it better than the rest. Recently voted the best in McHenry County. Stop in and carry out the authentic taste of Mexico and see for yourself. Support local for lunch and dinner today and place an order from Taqueria Las Cumbres. Call 815-455-8200 for Taqueria Las Cumbres of downtown Crystal Lake.
On WRMN, we highlight people who are trying to make a difference locally, like Marcus Banner, who talks about taking life to the next level.
I believe a man should better himself, better his family, then you better our community, and then we better government, and in that order. And then eventually you elevate yourself and evolve into a space where you're working on all of those things simultaneously, because there is no finish line to any of that. It's always a continuous work.
Making a difference in the local community for 75 years. We are WRMN.
For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on The First Shift.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help you.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
You can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
It's The First Shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST out of the Elgin and Chicagoland area. Welcome in. I'm also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at The Jaime Dee Show. That's TheJaimeDeeshow, a real live radio show. Shout out to the Pooch, who is live on the Instagram right now. Shout out to Dana Perez. Shout out to Life of Rich Tiff. It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys listening in to the radio right now. Also, shout out to Gina Chandler. Welcome in. It's an absolute pleasure. All right, let's get into some more news. The Jasmine brand posted on Instagram that Lululemon's billionaire founder, Chip Wilson, insists that inclusivity of the company is killing the brand. Wilson, who stepped down 10 years ago, recently spoke to Forbes, where he made it clear that the clothing line should not be for everybody. Quote, they're trying to become like The Gap, everything to everybody. And I think the definition of a brand is that you're not everything to everybody. You've got to be clear that you don't want certain customers coming in, end quote, Wilson explained to the outlet. He has repeatedly faced backlash for anti-Asian, sexist, and fat-phobic comments. Therefore, this latest rant comes as no surprise. Let me tell y'all this. I absolutely do not support anything anti-Asian, anti-gay, anti-black, anti-white. I don't support anything anti-anything. If you're anti, you're sexist, you're fat-phobic, any of those things, you're just a bad human being, and that's disgusting to me. I personally am not in support of his comments. I am also not someone who's going to agree with his rhetoric. However, I want you guys to take a step back and remember this. While I'm not agreeing with Chip Wilson, the founder of Lululemon, there's a difference between saying, hey, I don't want you people coming into my store. I don't want you people wearing my brand. That's disgusting. There's a difference between that and, hey, I make clothing for bigger women. This is a plus size store, like Torrid. That's a store for plus size women. And I do agree that there are certain brands that make clothing and items for certain people because they may not have that many spaces where they can find clothing for themselves. And that's fine. If you are a brand that is specific to a demographic, nothing's wrong with that. However, when you are specifically going out of your way to say, I'm not making clothes for fat people or bigger people or heavyweight people because they're ugly, they're disgusting, I don't like them, they're unhealthy, that is the horrible rhetoric that I cannot support, that I cannot be a part of, and that I cannot say is good for our community. Like I said, it's one thing to have a brand that is for a specific demographic because you're trying to create a space for the demographic versus saying, I made this brand because I don't want anybody else from any of these other demographics joining because they are disgusting. They are not human-like. They aren't deserving. And that is absolutely horrible. I absolutely do not agree with that. And it's just disgusting that there are people out there who do make money off of the people that they serve in the community, and they still look at them as less than. Tragic. All right, the Shade Room reported that last month, a jury found actor Jonathan Majors guilty of assaulting and harassing his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, and now he is speaking out for the first time since the ruling. In an interview with ABC News' Lindsay Davis, Jonathan shared that he was both, quote, shocked and afraid, end quote, after hearing the guilty verdict last month. He continued to say, quote, I'm standing there and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible based off of the evidence, based off of the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence? How is that possible, end quote. During the interview, Jonathan explained his point of view on everything that unfolded with his ex and shared that he was not responsible for the injuries he was accused of. When asked if he knew how the injuries occurred, he said, quote, I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it, end quote. Sentencing for Jonathan is scheduled to take place on February 6th. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked and afraid. And I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, in an incident last March.
What happened exactly, do you know?
No, I don't know.
But she's unconscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV when Majors received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face, twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
But you're confident you didn't cause
I have no
them.
question.
Surveillance video shows Majors getting out of the car, followed by Jabari, whom he then puts back inside the vehicle. What happens next is what the defense remains focused on. Majors runs off, and Jabari chases after him.
If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed in the streets of New York City.
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car. We're not here. I'm responsible for those things.
But none of her injuries.
I can't say that. None of her injuries.
I'm laughing because there's so many emotions and feelings and thoughts I have about the situation. First and foremost, do not put your hands on anybody. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. It is not right to put your hands on a woman, but it's also not right to put your hands on a man. It's not right to put your hands on anybody. I understand that there is this traditional value in American culture that women are different than men, and they should be treated differently than men. And there's also still that reality that women deserve to be treated equal, which I completely agree with. However, it's still known that women are, quote unquote, and I'm not saying this as a fact from Jaime Dee, but I'm saying this as what is always said in our society, that women aren't as strong as men, or that women can't defend themselves. Thus, men should not put their hands on women because men are going to always overpower women and all these other things. While that could be very true, it's not true in all instances. I personally don't care about none of that. What I mean by that is the idea that men should just not put their hands on women. I think that's dumb, because I believe what should really be said is people need to keep their hands to themselves, period. Whether you are a girl, whether you are a guy, whoever you are, do not put your hands on another person. And the reason I say that should be the rhetoric and the idea that we should actually abide by, because there are so many conversations that can be had depending on a situation. Like, hey, you put your hands on a woman, she did not deserve that, you're going to jail. Or, hey, she put his hands on him, why aren't we defending the guy? Or, hey, he put his hands on her, he responded, and oh my God, it's his fault. He should have controlled himself, and he shouldn't have responded. But then there's also the conversation of he put his hands on her, she put his hands on him, he responded, and that's what she gets. She shouldn't have put her hands on a man. She should know better. All this rhetoric is dumb, and I think it's dumb because of the fact that we stick to one ideal that men should just not put their hands on women, which I agree with, but I also agree with the overall thought that people need to keep their hands to themselves. You wouldn't be in these situations if people understood how to communicate, understood how to regulate their emotions, and did not automatically resort to putting their hands on somebody. If you have to defend yourself, that's one thing. But automatically putting your hands on somebody is not what we should be doing. Don't put your hands on anybody. Just like Kendra Cohen said on YouTube, remember, kindergarten, remember in kindergarten when they told you, keep your hands to yourself. And I completely agree, Kendra. And I just started like that because there's just so much to say about this case. And I don't agree with what Jonathan Majors did. I'm not at any point excusing him. And if it was proven, and it is still being proven, that he put his hands on her, he actually assaulted her, and he caused her this harm, he should unfortunately face the consequences. But again, like I said, it's such a hard topic to have a conversation on because we know in our society, unfortunately, they like to make an example out of black people, but more specifically, black men. And that sucks because I personally believe that everybody should be given some sort of grace if they deserve it, And a lot of situations are sometimes only seen one-sidedly because of ideas of, men shouldn't put their hands on women, or, this is a stronger, taller black man and a white woman, or a woman in general. And when you have those ideas and those thoughts like that, you don't see the full picture. And I know that to be very true because I was in a situation recently where somebody told me, well, because I'm a taller, bigger black man, that I can't defend myself. I was literally told that by a white person. Yes, I was. And I was told that if I was to be harmed by somebody shorter than me, even if they are a man and they come off as strong, I am visibly stronger, and I would have to face those consequences because I'm a taller black man. And I think that's dumb. But again, when you have those thoughts, you don't see, hey, that black man who may be tall or may look strong may not actually be that strong, or may have feared for their life and may have reacted that way out of defense. And everybody deserves the right to defend themselves. So you shouldn't be like, well, because you're this, you should control yourself more. No. When you are defending yourself, all that stuff goes out of the window when you have to defend yourself, period. But again, there's just so much to dissect in this story, and I don't have enough time to do it right now, but even people on social media are having conversations like, and that's what you get as a black man for being with a white woman. And that's even a very long conversation because I believe in love is love. I believe you should love whoever you want to love. If you want to be in an interracial relationship, do it. Who cares? If you find your person, be with that person. But I also do know that there are a lot of fake progressive people out there who believe that they love you, respect you, and cherish you. But the second you do something to them, it's like you were never their friend. You were never their lover. You were never somebody close to them. And they do automatically, and I mean immediately, turn on you. I'm not disregarding the fact that if this was a black person and a black person, if this black person would have hit the black woman and she's like, you know what, he hurt me, that could be that person's non-negotiable. And that could have been her non-negotiable. I'm not saying that all people do a certain thing, but we have seen time and time again that when you get with certain people, especially those who aren't really for you, that it shows itself true how they really think about you and how they really perceive you when their back is against the wall and you guys are both facing a very tough situation. So like I said, this is a situation there's so many different parts of it. There's so many different things we could talk about. And I don't think this is just a simple Jonathan Majors hit somebody, he's being punished and that's it. No, there's way many intricacies in this situation that I think people need to actually sit down and dissect. Even look at how he's immediately fired from everything. I mean, people were just ready to fire that man. I mean, the second news came out, Warner Brothers said, post. And that's insane. Like, some people didn't even wait till the verdict came out before they're like, yep, and fired, and deleted, and contract canceled. It's crazy. But that goes to show that they make an example out of black people, especially black men, because I know a lot of white men in our industry who have done the same thing and even worse than Jonathan Majors and still have their jobs till this day. Still are acting till this day. Still are in studio movie films till this day. And to me, that is insane. It's insane. Hey, shout out to Angel. I see you right now on the Instagram. Shout out to Kendra Cohen. She says, your skin tone is a threat. And it's true. It's a very sad reality that we live in. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have a conversation on the importance of family. Yes, the importance of family. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. This is the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and WRMN out of the Elgin and the Chicagoland community. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Theriault Booth, a leading local law firm, is located on the beautiful Fox River in downtown St. Charles. Here's Ryan Theriault.
For better or worse, there are just times people need a lawyer. Whether you are involved in a work injury, in an automobile crash, selling a home, or even planning for your estate after your passing, we're here. We're local. We're part of the community.
For more information, visit them on the web at tbfirm.com or give them a call at 630-526-4242.
The word is out. Nissans cost less on Route 19, but that's not all. Parts, service, and body shop, they all cost less at McGrath Nissan. Used cars too. The reason why is how hard we try. Right now, get 0% APR financing on select new Nissan models at McGrath Nissan because
Nissans cost less on Route 19.
Come to Elgin.
See what we mean.
Hey there, it's Tammy Scully with the Radio Shop Show, inviting you to live large for less by listening to the Radio Shopping Show weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., 4 to 6 p.m., and on Saturdays from 8 until noon. Check out our website at WRMN1410.com or visit us at 14 Douglas Avenue in Elgin, home of local radio for 75 years, including the Radio Shopping Show for over 40 years. We are WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook.
Hey there, this is Marky B from the First Shift Morning Show, and on my show, I try to make local movers and shakers feel comfortable when they join me for interviews, like Sherry Blazier of the Elgin History Museum.
I think I need to note to you that I just looked at my mood ring, and it is perfectly purple, which means I'm very happy and content and sailing along. I figured if I immersed myself in the accoutrements, I would be in the mood for this.
Huh. Accoutrement? Is that what you said?
Accoutrement.
What she said. Just join me mornings from 6 until 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show, woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST out of the Elgin and the Chicagoland area. Welcome back in. I really appreciate you all. If you're just now tuning in, I already went over some daily news, and now we're going to have a conversation about the importance of family. Again, the importance of family. I don't know about y'all, but in my household, I was raised to believe that family comes first. Always. No matter what, you put your family first. You watch out / help your family. You protect your family. You keep up with your family. And you often tell them how much you love and care about them. These are values and ideals I've always held near and dear to me. And this is thanks to my mom and my dad. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the love, care, and support I received from my internal and external family. Yeah, you may bicker and fight with your family, and you may often get irritated and want to distance yourself from your family. But in this world of evil, distrust, hatefulness, betrayal, hurt, dirty politics, and more, family is all you have. I often think about people who don't get along or even associate with their families, and that makes me sad. It really does, because I understand that some people are born into toxic, harmful, disappointing, and unfamily-like families, and they have to remove themselves. I get it. In those instances, I support protecting your space, peace, and health because you need to. It's your life, and you have control over how you want your life to go. However, but that still makes me sad that that's a lot of people's reality. However, as I've gotten older, I realize that even though we are born into families we don't get to choose, we are also able to make our own. Whether that's through marrying someone and having kids, adopting, making friends that become like your family, joining organizations or communities that have the same interests as you, and making them your family and more, and that's beautiful. because you do have the power to create your own, to really have what you want in your life. The world may seem hard to deal with for many, but I want people listening in right now to know that you are not alone. And even when you feel like you are, you can always find a way out. You can make something for yourself. You don't have to wallow in the belief that you'll never be loved or you don't have anybody. You can make your own. You can get out of life what you want out of life. You just have to look for it and ask for help. I know a lot of things are easier said than done, but really, a lot of things are actually just that easy. If you take a step back, if you think, if you ask for help, you'll realize that the challenges in life that you really thought would be so hard really are easier than you thought they would be. Shout out to Arthur CIJA_Williams on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning into the Jaime Dee Show. Life is what you make of it. It really is. Now, I was watching Home Alone 1 this past weekend because I wanted to push myself to find hobbies that didn't involve using my phone. And I laugh because there are things I do for sure. But when I'm just sitting at home, I hardly do much outside of using my phone. And it's pretty annoying because it makes me feel like I'm wasting my life away. When you're just mindlessly scrolling on Instagram and on other apps and just texting all day, you look up and you realize, dang, hours have gone by and I have not done anything with my life. Now, it's okay to have unproductive days. It's okay to not feel like you have to use your time wisely because we do have the ability and do deserve to be able to just sit and mindlessly wonder and just have a good time and let our bodies just be. Nothing's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I want to also find other ways to let my body just be because I feel as though that I'm not gaining much through just scrolling on social media. I'm just not. And that's how I feel about my life. So I was like, let's switch it up and watch a movie. And I chose Home Alone because I wanted to watch something holiday related and something that would give me nostalgia. Y'all, I swore I remember this movie like the back of my hand. Like, I'm like, oh, it's Home Alone. I'm excited to watch this. I haven't watched it in years, but it's Home Alone. Like, it's a national treasure. It's something everybody, I can't say everybody, but a majority of people have seen in their life. But y'all, I really did know Home Alone like I thought I did. And I felt like I was watching a brand new movie. I bring this up because I surely did not remember that church scene where Kevin was talking to that creepy old neighbor about his son and how he needs to contact him even if he's afraid he won't answer and that he'll never have to wonder what it's like if he just tries. He was like, yeah, you don't have to wonder how your relationship could have been with your son if you just try. If you just call your son, you don't have to wonder. Like, you're putting this on yourself for no reason. Call this man. Kevin was spitting straight facts about how important family is and how you should at least try to mend relationships that aren't fully broken and how the old man was too grown to be scared. And I'm just like, oh, Kevin, you better. Yes, spit that wisdom. That part really resonated with me because it was all truth. And to come from such a young child, it was so cute. It really was. And for some reason, I totally do not remember that part of the movie. Now I'm going to actually ask my producer, Mark. Mark, have you ever watched Home Alone?
Yeah, it's been a while.
But do you remember that part of the movie?
I don't.
See, I didn't either.
No.
I didn't either. And maybe it's because, it's one of those movies that everybody watches in their life, but, it's been so long, so you probably just don't think about it. But there are certain movies where I'm like, no, I know every scene. And I thought Home Alone was one of them. And I just didn't. So then, as I'm watching the movie, the end comes, and Kevin looks out of the window to see that the neighbor and his son finally reunited. And that showed that the old man got over his fear and ego and called his son. Man, when I tell you, I don't remember that part at all either. And I was literally shocked. Y'all, I started bawling. I was crying so hard, like the biggest baby. I'm in the basement, literally bawling. I'm like, when did this happen? When was this a part of the movie? Oh my God, this is so cute. This is so sweet. That moment was such an unexpected, beautiful ending and really just tied the entire movie together. It really made me realize that it's never too late to mend a relationship or build one up. If you're battling the what ifs of relationships, take a step back, breathe, and ask yourself if this person is worth more than this dumb issue. And if they are, call them. Try to figure it out, because you never know when it's your last day or their last day on earth. Tomorrow is not promised. So live life today like it's your last. 2024 just started, and I want it to truly be a year of healing, clarity, prosperity, peace, and security for everybody. I really need everybody to remember that the world gives us way too many problems as it is, and we shouldn't be giving the people we care about the most more problems on top of that. We should be a safe place for those we say we truly love and care about. You never know how you can be contributing to someone falling over the edge because you're not paying attention to how harsh the world is already. So please be self-aware and love on those closest to you. Now, shout out to Nursey Cosmetics. She said, yes, preach. Shout out to 302 Dish. Shout out to Rachel Ryan Radio out of Dallas, Texas. Shout out to Charmaine. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to have you all on my show. And whether you all believe it or not, a lot of you all are part of my family. A lot of you all are what makes me whole. A lot of you all are what keep me going, even in my current space in my new radio show here on WRMN. Now, Williams Family says, is that a new Mark or the Las Vegas Mark? So, Mark, I don't know if you know. I want you to say hi again. My manager at KSHP, his name is Mark. Yeah. This Mark is the producer, and he is the program director of WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM. He's an other Mark. So, Mark, before we go to break, I want to give you, a chance to, introduce yourself. Shine a positive light on who you are.
Well, I'm Mark with a K.
Oh,
yeah.
That's Mark with a K too, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, she just spelled it wrong.
Gotcha.
Mark over there is with a K as well.
Yeah. And I host the morning show here on WRMN every day from 6 to 10.
I can tell. They have a great voice.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you from Chicago?
Originally, yeah. I lived in Tennessee for a long time, though.
Okay.
25 years, so I bounced around some.
Well, Mark, we're going to be with each other every week, literally every week. So you're a part of my family now, too, and I appreciate you for supporting the show, making sure that the show goes well, and I thank you for welcoming me into the family. And I pray that everything continues to go well with us and we continue to build and bond in a positive way.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yes, thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more messages about the importance of family. And I want to talk about something that happened in my life recently. So come back. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's continue to build with each other. Let's continue to get close. This is the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and also WRMN out of the Elgin and the Chicagoland area. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Golden Corral Buffet and Grill, 154 Gary Avenue in Bloomingdale is open. Golden Corral's legendary Endless Buffet has a variety of delicious favorites and new menu offerings for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Guests can choose from over 150 items, including grilled-to-order sirloin, pork, seafood, as well as old favorites like fried chicken, meatloaf, and mac and cheese. Golden Corral is the only one for everyone. Visit goldencorral.com.
A dream that's been cooking for years, Maria's Little Italy in Sycamore is waiting for you to come and enjoy authentic recipes handed down for generations. Stop in and enjoy bruschetta, handmade focaccia bread, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more. Dine in, take out, delivery, or catering is all available. Go to mariaslittleitaly.com and see what you've been missing. From their family to yours, welcome to Maria's Little Italy, where food brings families together.
Stop in at the Lake in the Hills Tattoo Company, just off Rando and Polaris Drive, and talk to one of the experienced tattoo and piercing experts about getting your first or next tattoo or piercing. Lake in the Hills Tattoo Company will provide a comfortable, relaxing environment for you. Call 847-458-1155 to schedule an appointment, or stop in at 61 Polaris Drive, Unit Number 1, and talk to one of the artists at Lake in the Hills Tattoo Company.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Noory with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And also live on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. CST out of the Elgin/Chicago land area. Welcome back. If you're just now tuning in, I went over some daily news, and now we're having a conversation about the importance of family. I left off on saying how you should build those relationships. You should mend those relationships. You should care for one another. Life is already hard as it is on the outside. It really is. And we should continue to be a safe space for each other. Now, I'm going to try to compose myself, because even on a break, I almost started like crying. But this topic came about because I found out yesterday that I lost my uncle to a senseless murder that had nothing to do with him. Now, I don't want to make this, Chicago is such a dangerous thing, because I lived in 9 major cities so far, and I can tell you that I've been in cities way worse than Chicago. But it is dangerous out here. And it is dangerous all around the world, and especially here in America, because there are so many senseless killings happening every day, and it's sad. We shouldn't be taking lives over dumb beefs and killing innocent people like my uncle because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I will never condone gang violence. I will never condone gun violence. I will never condone violence that is not of you defending yourself. But it really hurts knowing that you never know when your last day is, because there are so many ways you can lose your life. And sometimes you could just be outside and living your life, not hurting anyone, and become a victim of street violence, and that makes me sick. That's why I want you all to continue to check up on each other. Keep in contact with each other. Get over petty drama. Stop petty drama. And when you get mad at each other, talk it out. Please. Life is too short, and it should not take for somebody to pass away, whether that's in your family, whether that's in your friend group, or whether that's somebody that you know, for you to remember, oh crap, life is lifing. I need to reach out to somebody. Or I never reached out to that person. Or I never showed up for that person how I wanted to. Remember that today. Remember today that you need to reach out. Remember today that we are all human and we all are going through things, and you will never know what the next person is going through because you're being too selfish to reach out, because you want everything done for you, because you feel as though that person should reach out to you. You don't know what that person's going through, and you will never know, and sometimes you will never get the chance to know because they may leave your life forever. So please, love on one another, talk to one another, live with one another. Please do as much as you can for your family and your friends, because you never know when their last breath will be taken. You never know when yours will be taken. And I don't want anybody listening in right now to regret anything in life that they can have control over. You have control over the relationships you build. If that relationship is no longer serving you, get rid of it. That's fine. And it's okay to get rid of family relationships. It's okay to get rid of friend relationships. But if you have not tried to build that relationship, you have absolutely no excuse. And you have no reason to complain about the state of that relationship. Today could really be your last day on earth, and that's a very scary reality. Also, what's even worse is that life doesn't stop because somebody passes. It may pause, but it doesn't stop. So live your life to the fullest. Be as unapologetic as you can be. Stay true to who you are. And again, nurture those relationships that mean the most to you. When you're gone, life will continue. And when that person's gone that you cared about, your life is going to continue. And you never know how your life is going to change because that person is no longer in your life. So please love on each other. Talk to each other. Support each other. Care for each other. And truly see the value of family, because there's nobody else that will be there for you like your family. So take a step back, get over your egos, get over that hurt, get over those dumb mentalities that you have, get over that thing that's stopping you from connecting with your family members, get over that dumb reason of sexuality or who they married or the job they chose. Everybody has the right to live the life that they want to live. And if it's not hurting you, someone else, or themselves, or an animal, who cares? A lot of this stuff is dumb. Get over it. Life is really too short, and you don't want to wake up the next day and feel like shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want to take a moment of silence for my Uncle Dino, who lived until 49 and leaves behind his 2 kids. So if you guys can bow your heads and take a quick moment of silence with me, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, it's radio, so I can't do too much of silence because you really can't have dead air. That's against, FCC rules. But thank you so much for taking that time to bow your head to me. I was actually going to play a video, but we only have 3 minutes left, and so I'd rather just talk the rest of this out. I want you guys to comment on social media how you feel about your family. And I appreciate you, Kara, appreciate you, Kendra, and I appreciate you, Gina, for saying sorry for your loss. It definitely is a very tough situation, especially with my uncle. He was in my life pretty much all of my life, but not even just all of my life, but he had a very important role in my life in middle school and in high school, and he was an amazing resource for me throughout those times. And it's crazy because I don't know the name of the song, and I've been racking my brain about it all day, but when I was going to DeVry University to get a certificate in computer program, no, not computer program, it was computer gaming, and how to create games on the computer. And it was such a fun class. And I remember my uncle would pick me up from school every day, and there was a song that always played. And I don't know why this class, it was over the summer, this DeVry class was at 7 a.m. in the morning. It was horrible. And granted, when you're in high school, you're already going to school at 7 a.m., 7:30, so it's not bad, but it was like an hour away from my house, so it ain't like you're going 10 minutes down the road. You can wake up late and run on the bus. It was like I had to be up around 5 so we could leave the house at 6 so I can get to work, get to school on time. And there was this song. I don't know why I can't remember the song, the name of it. And it's this African-American artist who sings this song, and I have not heard this song since then. But it was a song that if I ever thought about, I would instantly, and you know what, I'm sorry, I have heard it throughout my life, but I haven't heard it in years. And whenever I heard it or thought about it, I instantly thought about how me and my uncle would connect on the ride home from school and how we would bond with each other. And it was an hour-long drive to and from. And I remember there even be times where I'd be asleep and this man would still be blasting this song loud. And I promise you, it was like every day after I get off out of class and I get in the car at the same time every day, this state radio station, it was either WGCI or 92.3 FM, would play the song at the same time every day. And at one point, I'm like, oh my God, stop playing this song. Y'all, I found out about this news yesterday, and my uncle lost his life yesterday, unfortunately. And I went to check on my dad. I went to talk to some other family members who live in the inner city of Chicago and to make sure they were safe. And then I went to kind of go hang out with my friend because I just wanted to not be alone. And my friend and I went to this bar. And it's so crazy because I have never in my life heard this song played anywhere off of the radio. I mean, I have never heard this song played in a bar, at a party, at somebody's house. And we're in this bar, and this song comes on. And I instantly start crying. And it's crazy because they were playing the full song of every other song, but this song came on. They played it for like a quick snippet, and they turned it to a turned song. And I was like, wow, if that's not a sign. And I just want to say rest in peace, Uncle Dino. I love you. I'm praying for you. I hope that you're in a better place now. I hope that you can rest in peace, and I hope that you're able to live a better afterlife, not having to deal with the tragedies of the current world. I'm praying for everybody who have lost a family member. I'm praying for people for 2024. I pray that this is a space, a time, and a year for peace, success, clarity, security, love, happiness, money, prosperity, and more. It is so hard living nowadays, and I really hope that you guys are all seeking the help that you need to be happy. And before I leave this show today, I really want you all to remember this. If you didn't remember anything else I said today, reach out to one another. Love each other. Remember, we are all we have. And a lot of times we have family outside of family, and those people deserve to be checked on as well. Gina said that was your uncle telling you all as well, and I accept it. I'm not trying to cry. So I'm going to leave this show. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for tuning into KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM every Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. CST out of the Elgin and the Chicagoland area. If you want to promote your business, products, services, music, and more, hit us up at info@jamiedee.com. Love you all so much. Have a good rest of your day and be well. Love on each other. Bye, guys.